yo, I'm gonna be pulling the cord on my fucking grenade and blow. See, like, that right there, like, and especially in this episode, like, real good, like, that first half was panel to panel fucking excellency, like, on that second half of that episode, because that's where this episode really shined. The first half, though, so you know what I mean, I do really enjoy this show. However, though, I have got to say, like, coming into it, though, I feel like the first half of this episode actually had a kind of few of the problems, because it kept flying towards, oh, let's go back to our childhood, then let's go back a bit to the fight, let's have, like, Deku and I running, and then let's recap most of the anime, like, with, like, Deku and Bakugou. Like, I feel like the show was like, I understand you're really trying to make sure, like, 2 chapters an episode so you don't really catch up to the source material. I get that. I've got to say, though, you can really tell, though, in, like, a bunch of these scenes in this first half, that they were really trying to stretch this material out a lot. And I'm like, if you just wanted to do that, just have them, like, running around chasing. You don't have to keep, like, telling, like, about all the scenes, like, going back in the anime. And I guess, like, that's one thing that's always really hard when it comes to a manga and anime adaptation, because you do have to do that with scenes. You do have to change a few things around to make it, like, work more in an anime, like fashion. But I've got to say, it's like, it doesn't work sometimes. Albeit, like, whilst, like, Deku and, like, Bakugou were fighting, he was like, Uraraka, get out of here. You're gonna deal with the bomb, you're gonna deal with Ida, you're gonna try and do all this shit. And, you know, Deku was playing it smartly. Like, he knew, like, everything and all that was, like, to do it. And he's, like, even having, like, some of this, like, little catcher rope just to try and take down Bakugou, just to try to, but, like, as you get to saw, Bakugou is actually pretty goddamn clever as, like, a fighter. Like, there was a moment when he was fighting Deku in the second half, he fucking bunches it, flies up, uses smoke screen, flies over him, uses the fucking, like propeller, like that, of, like, the fucking energy, blasts him, and then fucking hits him back. Like, he was literally, that is some Suna shit from Hitman Reborn that he was using. He was using the energy, getting around, and it's like, Bakugou is a bit of an asshole, but he definitely knows how to, like, he's definitely had combat experience, and you get to see throughout all the flashbacks, it's just like the way how he was kind of grown up and, like, how everyone admired him is, like, that's kind of where he's gotten this attitude where he's like, oh yeah, I'm amazing, I am the only cool guy here. It's like, whilst you got to see, like, with, like, someone, like, Deku, it was like, oh, by the way, like, I've got nothing, I haven't got anything to do, but I'm still going to have this attitude of life, and I still want to help people, especially, like, when they were, like, he fell down the log and he was completely fine, but then Deku came down and was like, oh, are you okay? And it was, like, kind of, like, in Bakugou's mind, it was like, oh, he's looking down on me, this piece of shit. And I was like, I feel like you should do it all in one big clump, not just, like, keep cutting back and forth from the fight, because it definitely does take away, because it's like, if you're really invested in the fight, you're going to be there, like, oh, I want to see more of that. But then if you're also in the past segments, you're like, no, I want to see more of the past segments, but you keep, like, cutting them around apart, and it just got very, like, kind of annoying at some points when they kept saying it. And this kind of, like this whole attitude that he's had with, like, kind of, like, Deku is, like, this is why he thinks he's way above him, and, like, going from that, and, like, just how Ida is, like, or shall I say, in Curcio with his armor, is, like, just going around with, like, the bomb, he's like, ha 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 ha, you can't beat me, Uraraka, like that. I've made sure, like, who thought cleaning would be the most evil thing ever, because she has nothing in the room to use her gravity powers on, and she even used it on herself to try and fly and get away, but Ida was using his quirk to move the bomb, going around too fast. It was like, well, we're kind of in, like, a little bit of a deadlock here. And honestly, like, especially, like, it was going into the second half when you saw, like, he was getting pissed off, and fucking when you got to see, like, Baku's like, you've been making me sweat around here and all that, you've been stalking around. Guess what? My explosions get a lot more, like, you know, powerful, like, when my sweat glands, like, make it explode. And he just pulls out a grenade clip from the hand, pulls it, bang, like, just fucking, like, he was like, oh dear God, like, All Might's like, no, like, stop. That's something we're not gonna do. And honestly, it's like just the way how he acts is like, are you gonna kill him? And he's like, ain't gonna kill him if he misses it. Like, it just goes bang. And that was the point where I was like, okay, panel to fucking panel, that looked amazing. Like, the sheer, like, explosion, and seeing, like, especially where you saw, like, Bakugou's face like that, like, with the rage, and just the shitting grin, like, that was what, like, I really liked about it. It was especially, like, that second half, like, shined a lot more towards me, because it was, like, it was really hype at some points, the animation, and just, like, especially, like, the fighting techniques, like when he was, like, jumping around, doing really clever tactics, and it was like, that's what I really liked about it. While the first half, if it wasn't going back to like, you know, like going back to the past, it was going back to see what the school kids thought about it, or going back, and it's like, I felt like you should have it kind of at one part, like if you're going to do that, and then the next part, and then go into that. I feel, while they're like, because it felt like the anime was really jumping around like too many parts and all that, and it kind of like, I don't know, it kind of got annoying at like some parts of the second half. But honestly, when you saw like whole Deku's like ability, what he was going to do, because he like, him and like Bakugou had a kind of Naruto and Sasuke moment when he was like, I'm gonna surpass you, you idiot, and the two go clashing at each other, go like screaming, like going, ah, like Detroit Smash. It's like, we have to stop this right now because this is gonna be a problem. What he does is that he fucking runs to him, blocks with one hand, uses the Detroit Smash, shoryukens the roof, so there's rubble and shit everywhere, so that gives Uraraka the chance to like actually use this. And I gotta say, you can clearly see with the CGI that actually worked well. We saw like the building or blah. It's like Uraraka used it, used the bat, goes in and grabs the giant bomb, and it was like, there we go. That was how they were able to win. And that explained why, like, he wasn't using his powers at all on, like, Bakugou, because he's, like, he can't control them yet. And it's like, I could generally hurt someone really bad if I do this. And it's like, that's the kind of situation that he's at. It's like, once I've got more control of my liability, that's when I'm going to do it. And, like just said, like, that second half, especially with, like, all that stuff going on, just, there was panel to panel, just like how they looked in like the manga. It looked absolutely fantastic, like at scenes, and I honestly really did like it when he like punched her. The only other nitpick I had was honestly same thing as like kind of going to the first half, is that the music was a little bit weird when you had like Bakugou Deku fighting. You had like not really this intense music going into it, but then the second half had that. So it's like you can see that that was the kind of the big theme of this episode, where it was like the first not 12 minutes would be like say I'd say the first like 9 minutes I had, but I was actually getting a bit annoyed at it. And then, like, coming into the second half, I didn't have those problems anymore, and they were literally fixed at that point. I wish, like, we saw a little bit more of the Ida, like, and a little bit more of the Uraraka. That would have been cool if they actually, like, had a little fly around or, like, do anything, since we didn't get to see too much of them. But I really did like the Bakugou and the Deku stuff in the end, although I will say it does take a bunch of points off with the whole, like, keep going flashback, then recaps on the anime. It's like, we get it. We know Academia. You don't want to catch up, but I feel like this anime is suffering because of it, and I've already done a discussion video before why I think this is like not helping this anime over in the long haul, and it should have just, like, as great as this like animation is, like nothing can be really said about the animation. It looks great, maybe a few like issues here and there, but it's like, this is what's happening though. It's like, you know, like if like you need to let the manga build up a bit more, and then we could have had a lot more. Like, you know, 7 episodes in, and it's like, yeah, we got through like a really great moment where I really got, that was the first time I got really hooked into Academia, this material. I would have loved if this was ongoing with 24 though. Like, I really would have loved that. And knowing that it's like, hey, we've only got like 5 more episodes left after this, it's like, that's kind of a little bit upsetting. But even still, I had like the last half when I was absolutely perfect. I didn't have no problems with that at all. First half really took out. So honestly, I would give this, honestly, like, I could feel like if I could give the two a score, like if I honestly gave both halves a score, I would give like the second half like an 8.5 to like a 9, and I would give like, honestly, the second half I would give it like a 6.5. Like, so kind of putting that together, I think that overall, like, the anime episode, it was still good. I would probably give it an 8, maybe 7.5, but it's like that first half was rough for me. So, I mean, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. That probably didn't annoy a lot of people like that, but I don't know, for me that was really kind of grinding on my nerves that first half. But overall, I still think it was a fantastic episode. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below, but that's all from me, and I will see you guys next time.